Frustrating, isn't it? It seems every TV program or movie has a couple where the wife can't wait to drag her man into bed and make wild, passionate love to him. Maybe even some of your friends talk about how their wives love to make love and do it in the most creative and remarkable ways. But not your wife. She doesn't seem to want to have sex with you at all. You wonder if there's something wrong with her. Why doesn't she have a sex drive? Can't she understand that you have needs, and those needs include sex? Doesn't she care? Sometimes you wonder if maybe there's something wrong with you. Are you not handsome enough? Not good enough in bed? Is there something else she wants, or someone else that she wants, rather than you? The reasons that she doesn't make love to you may have nothing to do with any of those things I just mentioned, or maybe it does. Would you like to know the top 3 reasons that wives don't make love to their husbands? If so, I'll tell you what my research found as the top 3 reasons that wives no longer find their husbands sexually attractive, and the top 3 reasons that wives aren't satisfied with their lovemaking with their husbands. It's well known among researchers and therapists that marital satisfaction and sexual satisfaction are mutually dependent. That means if a person isn't sexually satisfied in their marriage, the odds are extremely high that they aren't satisfied with the marriage itself. That makes it extremely important to have a great sex life if you want a great marriage. Now, when I share what I found in my research, it may sound as if I'm saying that it's your fault that your wife doesn't want to make love to you. That's not my intent. In this research, 759 married Americans currently living with their spouses responded to an online survey. When asked if there were specific factors that reduced their sexual attraction to their spouses, nearly 2/3 of them said yes, and then gave their reasons. The number one cause that wives gave for reduced sexual attraction was that there were relationship problems with their husbands. That doesn't sound surprising, does it? As I said a few moments ago, when there isn't satisfaction with the marriage, there isn't satisfaction with lovemaking. The wives mentioned relationship problems ranging from a lack of communication with their husbands to unhappiness with the way their husbands treated their children, and more. One wife said that the reason that she and her husband didn't have a good emotional connection was because he didn't demonstrate love to her other than when they were having sex. Now, if relationship problems are an issue in your marriage, I have a solution. The number 2 reason wives gave for reduced sexual attraction was unhappiness about their husband's sexual techniques. They were not happy with their husband's lovemaking skills. Their complaints ranged from lack of romance to inadequate foreplay to his not making sure that she had an orgasm. They especially pointed out their unhappiness with feeling pressure to make love or to go beyond their personal boundaries to make the husband happy. Now remember, the question they're answering was whether there is anything that significantly reduces sexual attraction to their spouses. Because they knew that their husbands weren't going to be romantic or highly attentive to her sexual needs instead of just his own, their wives had lost desire to have sex with them. Because they anticipated sexual disappointment, they weren't excited about having sex with their husbands, and even less excited when they felt pressured to have sex anyway. The number 3 reason that wives gave was their husband's hygiene. They were unhappy with their husbands not being clean before wanting to make love, but it went beyond just the bedroom. They also cited things such as the husband's bad breath, not wearing deodorant, wearing the same clothes all weekend, smelling bad from smoking, and more. Now, it seems that this would be an easy fix, but if husbands don't take seriously their wives' complaints about hygiene, they aren't likely to do anything about it. Now, this survey had another question about sex. The first one was about being sexually attracted to their spouse. This one asked if they had specific factors that reduce their sexual satisfaction with their spouse. About half of the 759 responded yes to this question. The number one reason that wives gave for reduced sexual satisfaction with their husbands was their husband's sexual techniques. And that was the number 2 reason that reduced sexual attraction to their husbands. It moved to the number 1 reason that the wives were dissatisfied when it came to their actual lovemaking. Interestingly, more women were unhappy with their husbands' sexual techniques than were the guys about their wives. However, it was the number 1 reason for both husbands and wives. It's a real problem. Remember that sexual dissatisfaction leads to marital dissatisfaction. Probably a lot of guys and a lot of gals think that they're great in bed, but this research found that may not be true. A great number of married men and women aren't very good in bed, but they don't appear to be aware of it. Now, the number 2 reason that wives listed for being sexually dissatisfied was problems in their relationship with their husbands. Now, I found it interesting that this came second to their husbands being less than great lovers. However, it makes sense that this is on the list. As we know, when people aren't happy with the marriage, they aren't happy with the lovemaking. And the number 3 reason that wives gave for being sexually dissatisfied was their husband's sexual functioning. That included things such as their husbands having erectile dysfunction, having premature orgasms, or taking too long to finally reach orgasm, or any other problems that made it either difficult or impossible for their husbands to participate fully in the sexual encounter. Their frustrations weren't only with the physical dilemma, but often was also with the fact that their husbands wouldn't get help or change their lifestyle to overcome the problems. Now, did you get all those? Sexual attraction for the husband decreased when there are relationship problems, his sexual techniques don't satisfy her, or he doesn't practice good hygiene. Sexual satisfaction with the husband decreased when he had unsatisfactory sexual techniques, there were problems in the relationship, or the husband had diminished sexual functioning. Happily married people tend to have happy sex. Don't keep living in sexual frustration.